Sorry about that. We have Trenerdios. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, here we go. Yeah. We had them before. I was unsure if we had them before or not. It has been a hot minute since we last had them. 2483. It's been a while. 2483. 2483. Oh, it's that fucking swing. Like, I think it's that swing where you like... Yeah, when you swing on it, like... I think the swing itself was like sapient and like, actually you just have feelings and want to be forgotten. Yeah, the sad swing set. Yes, yeah. It, like literally, it was like the swing set itself was sad. My god, been a while then. Trenedios. Your SCP that we're reading now is called "Fall into the Gaap." Not Gap. It's Gaap. Gaap. That's what I'm gonna call it. All right, here we go. Object class Euclid. Yeah. So tell him you don't need. I'm not your dad. You don't need my permission. Special containment procedures. The building containing SCP-3094 has been fenced off and is to be monitored at all times by security cameras and occasional patrols. Renovations to the outside of the building have been completed to deter people from attempting to explore the location due to its local reputation for being abandoned and haunted. Description: SCP-3094 is an empty elevator shaft located within the former site of aquarium and conservatory. The shaft has a width of 4 meters and a length of 5.5 meters. It extends up to the 3rd floor of the building. In a sense, into an unknown depth. Though the building does not have a basement or any floor below the ground level, people and objects lowered into SCP-3094 are estimated to disappear completely at a depth of approximately 30 meters below the ground floor entrance to the shaft. To this date, the only thing recovered from SCP-3094 is Agent Brandt. The Foundation was alerted to SCP-3094 after an abnormal amount of missing person reports were filed in the area, including a police officer who investigated the building after multiple reports of individuals falling into the elevator shaft. So they just fall and just splashing sounds without an apparent source has been reported to the building for several decades. Several victims of drowning have also been found near the building over the years, with no nearby bodies of water or signs of the deceased individuals' bodies having been moved from another location. An unmanned drone was sent into SCP-3094, but contact was lost with the drone at approximately 30 meters below the entrance to the shaft. At the same time that contact was lost, a loud splashing sound was heard. On the assumption that the drone had fallen into a pool of water and a malfunctioned Agent Holm and Agent Brandt were then tasked with descending into SCP-3094 with waterproof recording equipment. Upon reaching 30 meters below the entrance to the shaft, contact was lost with both agents. God, okay, so just don't go in there. Neither agent reported any abnormalities up to the point of disappearance. Further attempts to explore the shaft resulted in the loss of all equipment used. So yeah, it looks like it's just you cannot explore it because every time you do something goes missing. Yeah, for some like Mechanic wants to befriend everything, but for some reason snakes and mirrors are like the two things he's like deadly afraid of. Agent Brown was later recovered in Libreville, Gabon, Africa. I mean, the snake thing I believe was because of his sister's fault, and I think both of them are actually childhood trauma because of his sisters, but still. He claims he appeared somewhere in Pongara National Park, requiring him to hike for miles through the jungle until a park ranger found him and returned him to civilization. He had also managed to retain his waterproof audio recorder. While his voice is almost entirely inaudible, the rest of the audio was salvaged and seems to confirm Agent Brandt's account of his experience after disappearing into SCP-3094. An interview with Agent Brandt can be found below. Agent Brandt-1. Begin log. Dr. Becker. Agent Brand, could you please tell me what happened to you? No, actually, you know what? You know what? Agent Brand, could you please tell me what happened to you in Agent Home after you descended past 30 meters below the entrance to SCP-3094? Provide as much detail as you can reliably recall. As I said before, I really don't know what happened to Home. She was next to me, rappelling into the shaft, and the next thing I know, the rope in my hands is gone and I'm falling. I fell maybe 50 meters into the body of water. It was pitch black, and I couldn't see anything. And you then immediately attempted to reach the surface of the water? Yes, that's correct. I'm fairly certain I swam straight up, but in the darkness and confusion I could be wrong. Either way, when I reached the surface of the water, I discovered the elevator shaft was no longer above me. What was above you? Metal. A ceiling of sorts. I hit my head on it. At that point I started panicking because I realized there was only about 5 centimeters between the water and the ceiling. I practically had to kiss the metal to keep my mouth and nose above the water. It was rusty and smelled like seaweed. The water seemed brackish, and the smell of everything was overwhelming at first. I'm not sure how I didn't lose it completely and just drown. What did you do then? I figured the shaft had to be somewhere close. And even if I was disoriented, I knew it shouldn't be too difficult to find it, so I had more room to breathe. Maybe call up to the research team and let them know what happened. So I started keeping my face above the water as best I could. Being along the metal for the opening, I probably did that for 20 minutes before I realized I wasn't going to find it, that maybe it wasn't even there anymore. Did you attempt to locate Agent Home at any point? At first I had completely forgotten about her in my panic. Once I was focused on finding the shaft, I remembered and called out for her a few times. Never got a response. I was actually calling out for her when the water began to light up. The water itself lit up. Actually, I heard a loud splash first, and then the water or something in it started to light up. I yelled again for Home, but that was when the water started to rise. No, the mirror was infected by yourself, but the snake was definitely done by you. By your system. Don't forget Casabon and Zeno have said yes quite a lot of times. I'm the only one who, you know, doesn't want to have to deal with anything that could kill me. It noticeably rose. Yes, all the way to the ceiling. I knew that I was going to die then. That's when things got weird. Continue, please. Well, the water was over my head, but I could breathe somehow. And I could see. And I don't just mean because of the light source. I could see in the water as if I was wearing swim goggles or a scuba mask. Everything was crystal clear. I could see what was giving off the light. What was it? It was a very large owl. Well, it looked like an owl, but it was massive. I'd say it was about 70 meters away from me, and yet I could see it perfectly through the water. It looked like it was at least 60 meters tall. It had very long legs for an owl though, which was part of why it was so tall. And it had a crown on its head. A crown. Yes, it was bright gold, so it caught my attention immediately. I'm trying to think if this is like related to any of the SCP like mythology that we already know, or if it's based on any mythology that I know. Because I don't recall an owl with a crown. What was your reaction upon seeing this entity? Dr. Becker, I was going through a lot of emotions at that point. Terror wasn't there somewhere for sure. But I was also very confused, tired, and also in awe. You know how some people just exude charisma. Dude, I think you are the only streamer that reads through all the SCPs. Probably. I'm probably also the only person that will read through all the SCPs. Like, I know a lot of people are doing it now as well, but like... I'm pretty sure I'm one of the very rare ones who actually decides to read all of them in numerical order. Yes, I do know what you mean, I think. This thing exuded something like that. Not charisma though. It was like a mixture of horror and wonder and something else that was just incomprehensible. I sensed it was going to speak to me seconds before it opened its mouth. What did it say to you? At first it was just noise. Awful, awful noise. sounded like an orchestra of broken trumpets, all vying to be heard over each other. I instinctually covered my ears, but it was still just as loud. I yelled at it to stop, but it wouldn't. And then slowly, I realized there was words in the noise. Can you just give me a second, Dr. Becker? Of course. It was traumatizing, I imagine. I'm mostly an SCP gamer, but this is cool. Hey, man, like, who knows? Maybe this inspires you to find your own little group and be like, hey, man, I want to make a game of a SCP that Afro read, and here we go. No, I mean, sort of. I want to tell you everything in detail, but speaking with it was difficult to describe. Everything about it felt very, very wrong. And trying to remember the wrongness, which is just so hard to put into words, feels like it's draining me. I feel like I'm not meant to remember or repeat any of this. I wish you could more eloquently explain the bizarre emotions I'm feeling. It's okay, Agent Brandt. Just tell me what you can. We can always take a break and try later. I'm not sure a break would help. Is it okay if we just summarize it? Maybe I can try writing down the details later or something. I don't know. A summary is fine for now. I will warn you that the director probably will want more than that from you eventually. Of course, yeah, I understand. Give me a moment. Take your time. When I realized I could hear words within the cacophony, I was able to focus on them and realized it was asking me a question. It wanted to know why I was there. I told it I didn't know, and I asked it where I was. And it responded to you? Yeah, it was difficult to understand its answers. It spoke in an odd combination of Danish and English, and had a cadence to its speech that was discomforting. There are two languages Agent Brown is fluent in. No, oh, so it looks like it has the old tongue. None of what it said made much sense to me. The reason why I'm saying it might have the old tongue is because the old tongue is supposed to be like a godlike language that like doesn't matter what language you speak, the god will sound like the god is speaking in your language. So maybe that's what happened here. Maybe the owl has the old tongue, and it's able to like talk to him, and he can hear it in both languages because that's what he's fluent in. Could you understand anything? Hey, wait, could you understand anything? It says something about a very big gap or drop. Well, Gaap. Something about visiting, something about separation. I didn't know what to say to that, so I asked it if it knew where Agent Home was. Do you think we can stop now? I'm honestly quite exhausted mentally and physically. Just summarize the rest as best as you can, and we can be done for now. It said something about the Eve cunt being separated. Something about property. At that point, its voice was making me feel ill. I didn't want to know what it meant anymore. I asked it if I could please go home. It said no, so I begged it. How did I respond to that? It made me some sort of offer, and I took it. Dr. Becker, I have no idea what I agreed to. I just know that it laughed, and the sound was like an audience of predator animals screaming all at once. Ugh. And the next thing I knew, I was in the jungle. I really need to be done now. I can't talk about this anymore. My head hurts and I feel like I'm going to have an anxiety attack. We can be done for now, Agent Brandt. Thank you, Dr. Becker. Alright, pause the music. We covered audio from the Agent Brandt's recorder. I'm going to hear the fucking laughter that sounds like animals, predator animals screaming.
I visit President Gaap. This house place. This house water. I visit Gaap water. I can't separate do. Say ja. Say ja or I separate do. Ja, you can know. Eve can't separate. Gaap separate Eve can't. Vrienden Gaap einom. Gaap eat all einom. I only visit. No. No heim. I can't sit in the realm. Spare me. Spare me to conjure. That ika me realm. Ika mean place. Spore me to conjure. Mean realm, sin do. Do must conjure first. Spore me to conjure. Conjure all do me I know, Adam Cock. Adam Cock, understand? I know. I know. Fly, Adam Cock. Fly to me realm. Your shoulders I know. Always shoulders I know. For a beat.
So this is basically everything that we just heard. The transcript of the above audio file was prepared by Foundation Sound and Language Specialist with help from Agent Brand. The mixed use of languages made transcribing the log difficult even with Agent Brand's input. Footnotes have been included on words that are unclear. Possibly Gaap or Gaap. The pronunciation makes it uncertain if this is Danish or English word or something else entirely. And here we have who stole us. Unclear if this is two words or one. Agent Brand believes it may be one. Interesting. It's also interesting because like they did say like, when he asked about the other agent who happens to be a woman, he said Eve cunt, and yes, of course, haha, cunt, cock, funny, but he's talking about Adam and Eve. So I wonder what. So in whatever this owl is, knows about Adam and Eve. And also wants there to be some sort of like Spork is the conjure, so you must conjure first. So you must conjure first. My friend, I have a Danish friend, but like, so even here like Eve can't separate it. Yeah, so like this owl is saying you got separated from the other agent again, who happens to be a woman. And it's saying the gap separate. Okay, so the shaft. Separated Gaap eat all check only visit. If I can speak Danish, I probably would have like an epiphany right here. Fly to my realm, that's easy. Oh well. And then one Agent Brad is currently on the scale side 24's head psychiatrist following a nervous breakdown he experienced. A few days after his interview with Dr. Becker, it is believed this breakdown was triggered when Agent Brand discovered a marking or burn on his shoulder that resembles a raven's head. Further interviews with Agent Brand are restricted at this time. Okay. They got fucking marked, man. Makes me almost reminds me a little bit of Berserk. How Guts and Casca got marked. So yeah, I wonder. Whatever Asian Brand agreed on with this owl thing, probably is gonna hunt him down. Gonna make it a lot more difficult for him. The other log was actually really good. I think like a good job of making this owl creature actually sound terrifying. Like let's not forget, it's like 60 meters tall. It's this behemoth of an owl. And then you can, not only that, but it also talks to you underwater. Yeah, no, yeah. I'd be terrified. I'd be like, what the fuck? I guess I'll agree, because if I don't, I feel like you'll kill me. You know what? Maybe I will do that. Giant owl with crown underwater. I think that's gonna be the thumbnail, for sure. Like, I think that's. I was thinking like, what? How am I supposed to make the thumbnail? Like an elevator shaft? But I feel like giant owl like with a crown underwater. I think that's like a lot more cooler of a thumbnail. I think if you did that, he would just feel like are you mocking me? But he would say it in Danish and English. That would definitely 60 meter, I think is huge. Wait, that sounds kind of, I mean, it only sounds sus the moment you said that sounds kind of sus. Like, of course, like calling a 60 meter tall owl huge. It is a huge thing, that's for sure. But yeah, no. I wonder what the brand means. And it's the brand of a raven. It said, not even an owl, a raven brand. That's interesting. Interessante.